Welcome to the Surly Horns podcast. It's your host. I'm a Mac, and we've got the wonderful RGB3 with us. And look at us go.
Hey, we're back. No way. Are we back again? I don't even know what season we are. I think last time we did season 8, episode 1, and then that was the only one, right? So let's just call it season 9. I think so. I think our first season was like 20 episodes, and then the next one was like 2, and now we're dropping it. We're dropping a season per episode. We're just giving so much content in such a short amount of time. It's impossible.
Well, I mean, just so much has been happening, right? When you have kids, and now you have 3 kids, and you have 3 kids under what, 8?
Yeah, RGB3 girls. That's it.
Yeah, and then I got 2 under 6, and it just seems like your time evaporates. You have no time to do anything. Also, your ability to be a degenerate is really stifled by having all of these additional responsibilities called human lives that depend on you.
Those damn meddling kids and making sure they have to be fed, watered, bathed. I mean, goodness, who could have thunk?
Still find my degenerate opportunities. If you haven't read the story about Florida, go read my experience at the swamp. We're not going to recap it here. It takes too long. It'd consume the entire episode.
Yes, it would.
And I got a night before, and it was planned to have the night after the OU game for some degenerate behavior, but still got it in there. Had a great time at the OU game.
I think I'm washed at this point. I don't think I have degenerate behavior in me anymore. Frankly, it's just been one of those things where we don't have fun anymore. We're in the time of our lives where it's just like, hey, we have children, and our children have fun, and then we're just tangentially just there for the ride, right? Like their happiness is more important than our happiness. But that doesn't mean to say that we're not going to get down next weekend. Yeah, finally. I haven't been to a single Longhorn game this entire year, but we're going to the game. So
next Friday, we will be live podcasting from the tailgate. And if you don't already have your tailgate tickets for this weekend, we're doing a whole hog. There is going to be a rumor that 50 people are going to shotgun beers at the same time this weekend. So, I don't know if that's going to happen or not. But, what better way to make 2 cases of beer evaporate in less than 10 seconds than having 50 people chug them as fast as they can?
It's either there has to be 50 people chugging 1 beer, or Rick's going to chug 50 beers. So
I'm at 3 or 4. It's like one of those things. But we have had, the population has been increasing on each one of our shotguns. The Vandy shotgun train was pretty good.
You need to start getting one of those ski luge shot things. There's some kind of express lane for shotguns at this point is really what we're looking for. It's people know whenever they walk through the Surly tailgate exactly what's going to happen. You're going to shotgun a beer, you're going to get a delicious plate of food, and you're going to have fun.
I've got to make the merch that said I got blasted at the Surly Horns tailgate.
I shotgunned
me, like a silhouette of me or a group of people shotgunning beers.
I feel like we can make that happen.
Shirt. Yeah, that'd be pretty
it should just be a picture of you passed out at the one from last year. Just using heat stroke is what should be on the picture.
That's so good. But needless to say, we're looking forward to this weekend. We're looking forward to next weekend. And it really doesn't have anything to do with what the team has been putting out there on the field. We're just about having fun here at the Surly Horns podcast. Everybody out there, they're really concerned about wanting to have a good team that makes the playoffs and plays for national championships and conference championships games. And, we're at the point now where none of that is possible.
You know what? I think the biggest thing that people forget is we get a limited amount of college football per year. And it is every year it feels like it gets shorter and shorter and shorter. We have the season right now. We're recording this on Friday. The whole fucking season, for the most part, is going to be done a week from today. We have one more week of college football for UT fans. We're paying A&M a week from today.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter how many wins are in one column or losses are in the other. I mean, it does if you make the playoffs, because then your season does extend further. So it does matter a little bit.
And there is still an outside chance. You never know what's going to happen. Hey, and I think for anybody that's, on this, oh, well, woe is me, we might miss the playoffs and get fucking Sark out of here. And, we're not going to touch too much on Sark and all that stuff. And I don't care whether the man's back or not. That's not the point of this. The main point of this is fuck Piggy, fuck A&M. Forever. If you want Texas to lose, which I saw randomly on the board, like, oh, let's lose out and fire Sark, you're not a fan. You're not a real fan. You're a fucking idiot. If you don't want, to the very, very fiber core of your entire fucking being, want to win the next 2 weeks more than you want air in your lungs, you are not a true Texas fan.
Yeah, don't be a fan of somebody else.
Yeah. Go
the fucking game
Ohio
you
State.
Don't care.
Yeah, go cheer for Ohio State. They're going to end the fucking year probably undefeated. Cheer for Ohio State. Whatever. They play one game a year that actually fucking matters to them, and that's it. All I want is to beat Arkansas and to beat A&M. That's all I want.
I'm going to consume their mascot's animal flesh.
Yeah.
Before honestly, the game, in a ritualistic manner. I don't know if I need to come up with like a dance too, but geez, like that's what we're doing. We need
I'm absolutely smoking a ham tomorrow.
Of fucking feasting on our prey.
Yeah, honestly, if Texas only got 3 wins in a single year, but those wins were against OU, Arkansas, and A&M, I'm not exactly disappointed in the season.
It wouldn't be the worst.
It wouldn't be the worst. Now losing to fucking Florida. Okay, we're not going there. It's, whatever. I was about to say dropping your first fucking game to Maryland's not exactly. But anyway, we're not going to go back that far to the Tom Herman era to my level of disappointment.
Yeah. But. So we will at the tailgate this weekend. On Texas is going to be there doing their live show. And that'll be great. I'll be around. It'll be a fun time. It's a 2:30 kick. So we'll be there, plenty of time in the morning. We're going to watch every single game from the morning all the way until the night, until they kick us out of there, and be there, right? We've got like about 160 people are already going to be there. We need more people. We've got a huge setup. We bring in a pit we'll have the smoker going the whole day. We're going to do 3 back-to-back cooks, I think, on that thing for the A&M game. For this game, we're just doing a whole hog. I think we may throw an extra brisket on there just to have some burnt ends or something. And we got some wings that we're doing. We got mac and cheese, potato salad, coleslaw, Hawaiian buns. We fucking do the parties right. We're not doing some bullshit catering, whatever. Pokey Joe's, they do a pretty good job on their wedding catering side of things. And, their barbecue's not bad, but we're fucking killing it, right?
Yeah.
We're
this is our shit.
We're fucking doing it.
Yeah.
So come see us out there. And then next week, they're going to be on Texas football. It's going to be the Surly Horns podcast live.
So we have to do 2 of these. We have to do 2 this season is almost a guaranteed 2 episode. I mean, we might even do 3. You know what, Surly listeners? If we beat A&M, we will do a recap episode that night. 3 episode season, guys. Don't call it a comeback. We've been here for years.
So let's talk a little bit. We talked about the playoffs, and there's still this really outside chance.
You want to talk about playoffs?
if you ask some idiots that work at some of the Orange Bloods, right? If you ask Fat Ketchum or Nash, who works for him, they're completely brain melted idiots over there who think that it matters about losing to Ohio State, and that's why Texas isn't in the playoff conversation. And it has nothing to do with that. It has a lot to do with the rest of the field. It doesn't have to do with the 3 losses or 2 losses, really. It has to do with the rest of the field and the fact that a lot of people haven't lost 2 games. There's a lot. I mean, there's 3 undefeated teams right now. The,
Yeah.
and those teams can stay undefeated throughout the entirety of the regular season. And we know from a playoff perspective that postseason games, conference championships, do not matter from a win-loss perspective. You're not. It matters seeding, but you're not getting booted out of the playoff picture because you lost a conference championship game. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
That's not a thing that happens.
Yeah, I mean, some of them aren't even going to play in conference championship games. So,
Right.
if people want to point the finger of why Texas isn't making the playoff, it's not because of the 3 losses, right? The 3 losses, that's bad, right? It's how they looked, not just in the 3 losses, but the 3 the wins as well. You know,
And that's assuming that Texas wins out against a
Right.
top 3 A&M, which, little brother and everything. But you got to fucking look at a team
jihad
that's
from
undefeated
Arkansas
in the SEC the whole season and say, okay, well, that is like that's a real team that you
Arkansas's
can't just
Super
say that Arkansas has what they're like Herman's team from
yeah.
which year was that, 2019 or whatever, the
Yeah.
one or 17,
before
I forget which
yeah.
one it is, but they were like 4 points away from like a completely flipped record. So like let's just not sleep on Arkansas. Now they did fire their coach. The interim coach used to be the head coach there, and so albeit it's not the perfect roster for him, and there may be some stuff going on in the locker room, those dudes are still like pretty fired up to play Texas. Their staff is, the entire school is. I can guarantee you that there's going to be a lot more Arkansas fans than you're thinking or giving credit to for a 2 and whatever the fuck Arkansas that's coming into Austin. There's a lot of fucking Arkansas fans, and they're going to be running around talking their shit, and good for them. Like, we're going to be eating their mascot as an animal at the Surly Horns tailgate. But this is what college football is all about, and you can't sleep on a rivalry game. And a lot of these people I've also seen like, oh, these kids, they don't know about the right. Tell that to the fucking 2021 team.
Yeah, I was about to say, tell that to us when we went out to fucking Arkansas and got our wheels beat off of us.
Do you remember that kid at the, I don't even remember which bar it was. It was like the 9th bar we had gone to, and there was a kid at the bar who just came up to us and just started talking relentless amounts of shit. And so I had asked him, I was like, dude, like, what's the deal? And he was like, my grandpa told me about you fucking piece of shit Texas fans. And so, like,
100%. They got a lot of hate in their heart. And why wouldn't they? We've been eating their fucking lunch for, forever. Why, especially Arkansas doesn't really have a natural rival, right? If you asked Arkansas fans who their biggest rival is, it is us. I think there was a fucking fan poll or whatever. We're, a lot of people's biggest rival, to the Texas Techs and the fucking Baylors and all those included. But yeah, Arkansas fucking hates our guts. They absolutely despise us. And especially with all this Sark off-field drama stuff that we're hearing, rumors floating, and coming off a brutal fucking loss against Georgia.
Boofing.
You told me that we walk in on and just absolutely
there's an episode called Gorilla Boofing, and that didn't go our way either. But we got Gorilla Boofing.
This is how it usually ends up. But if you told me that Texas loses to Arkansas even before the season, I'd be like, yeah, I could absolutely see that. Absolutely could see it. And now even more so, right? So now I think we go in. No expectations. I hope to watch some good Texas football. Maybe this is the week we put it together. Maybe we do belt to ass, right? We belt to ass Arkansas. Now we're going into A&M game. A couple things go our way. Maybe a couple upsets. Maybe we do.
I'm rooting for fun. Rooting for fun. I'm rooting for big hits. I'm rooting for a crazy highlight reel. I want the final score to be, in Texas's favor, but I don't really care. Other than that. Right. I'd love to not see a whole bunch of drop passes and whatever, but I get if I get the sizzle reel on the other side of that, I don't really give a shit either.
Yeah. I mean, even if it's something that we can just build on for next year, right? Put in some wrinkles, see who's going to be playing next year, right? This is the perfect time to evaluate.
I want to see a fucking murder in the
Yeah.
backfield from the defense. I want like Colin Simmons to just like get 6 sacks in a single game. I just want something absolutely ridiculous to happen where it's just like, oh yeah, well Ethan Burke just had like 9 tackles for loss and like they just couldn't do anything.
I want us to run the ball. That's all. I don't ask for a lot. I ask for
They
us to
can't
be.
defend the run, so it would be a good if they wanted to. I would be super happy if Arch Manning had 9 passes.
Absolutely. That's been the biggest shocker this entire year. Is I understand the running back room's not the greatest. I like Trey Wisner as much as the next guy. Baxter obviously is still coming back from injury and is just not the same guy right now. You know, Jarrett Gibson, whatever.
Gibson's gone. He gone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Jarrett Gibson leaving. You know, Christian Clark I think's been a little bit. Solid. But
Simon,
yeah, I've really enjoyed Simon.
If he's really good next season, I'm going to be really fucking kind of mad that we didn't.
Yeah, what's crazy is I was like, oh man, I'm shocked Simon's not getting more carries. Really, I'm shocked nobody's getting any more carries. We're just not.
There is no carries.
The leading rusher for Texas, I think Trey Wisner has like 300 yards from scrimmage or something, just ridiculous. I think our leading rusher right now has less than 500 yards on the year, which is fucking crazy. Trey Wisner, he fucking ran for 1,000 last year, and he's not even approaching that. Not even getting close. And it's not due to somebody else coming in and taking his spot, or they're just not running the football. And mainly it's because we can't lean on anybody. The offensive line is just so fucking garbage. You can't lean on anybody. You can't get any push in the run game. Right now, I can tell you the exact offense that Texas is going to run. Tell me if you've heard it before, fellas. So first down, you know what? Hey, let's establish a run. Boom, rush, up the yard, maybe 2 yards. All right, next play. Hey, Sark's going to get in his bag for this one. Let's get a first down. Nope, he's going to boot Arch out. Incomplete pass. He dumped it towards the tight end. Tight end missed the play. Whatever. Third down. Obviously, we're absolutely going to run a deep slant to Wingo. Why wouldn't we? That has an absolutely excellent chance of converting this easy third down. Oh, what's that? We missed him by 5 yards, or Ryan Wingo dropped the fucking ball. Cool. Guess what? We're punting from our own 30. Now our defense is on its heels. That's how every fucking possession for Texas is gone. Every single fucking one. Every single time that they want to establish the run, instead they pass it twice. Incomplete, boom, punt, done. Right? Run it on first and second down. Right?
First, second, and third. And if you're in between the 40s, run it 3 times and pass on fourth. I don't care.
Averaging 5 yards a carry. All you have to do is run it 3 times for a first down, right? It's just mind-numbing that they just cannot. What is the longest run from scrimmage that we have?
I think it's Caldwell's run.
Yeah, what was it?
Yeah, 36? No, it's like a 36 yard or something. Right, I think that's still the team's longest run of the entire season. I don't know.
That's crazy.
But our backup quarterback, who's not especially known for having wheels, has the longest run from scrimmage, I think, for Texas this season.
Oh, no. AI is so fucking garbage. It said the longest rush of the 2025 season was a 72-yard run by running back Jarek Gibson against Oklahoma State.
Yeah, I really liked that run. It was a good one.
I remember it for sure.
I totally remember how. Can we talk a little bit about how
generative AI can get fucked? I'm so fucking tired of it.
We should have been doing? We should have just fed AI all of the past content and told it to just be putting out an episode a week and just like
absolutely. It's all the same shit. We just say fuck a lot, we yell, then we talk about food, we talk about movies, and then we say and that's about it. Maybe we bring up Hooters once or twice.
We got really derailed. We got to talk about the playoffs.
Oh,
general, like how stupid now that we're in year 2, the 12-team playoff is. I get it. There's more. I'm not complaining about the 4 versus 12. I do think 4 was too few.
Yeah,
it always was. It was from the very beginning. But in some ways, making the playoff when it was only 4 teams was substantially better because
Yeah.
the only real slot that people were mad about was the 4th slot.
Yeah.
And then you have the SEC that could dominate half of the playoff spot, or maybe even more than half, because they have 3 of the best teams in a given year, especially if they're not all playing
Yeah.
each other anymore. So I get like the move, right? I'm not complaining about 4 to
And right now,
expand it.
fours would be super clear who the 4 are right now. You know, it's
And now
Ohio
that they've
State, it's
changed from
Indiana,
last year,
A&M, and Georgia. Yeah.
from last year to this year, they were like, okay, 12-team playoff with all these weird things, and then conference champions automatically get bye weeks. And then they were like, that's really stupid. So then they bailed from that. And now, in a true stack ranking with automatic bids in, now it's just it's a clusterfuck of a bunch of teams that are ranked 9 through 12 are never going to win. There's no
Yeah.
fucking shot. Like, these teams, when you're looking at who will finish
They might
9,
win a
10,
game,
11,
right?
12.
Yeah. Like they might
Yeah,
win
I'm
a
not saying
game.
that they won't get to the semis, but
Yeah.
like when you're looking at what those teams are and what they're putting on the field, the product that they have versus the top 8 teams, just by pure ranking, the top
Yep.
8 teams, every single one of them have a legitimate shot where they can get hot, make a run, and win a national championship. Those extra 4, like a G5 team, they're gonna get blown out.
It's a bye week. It's a bye week is what that equates to. And I get wanting to have a G5 team in there, right? But you can't when the number is so finite, like 12. 16 teams, sure, right? You're going to get some filler. I have no problem. I even have no problem having that as almost a reward for the top teams. And maybe every now and then we get a random USF that's just a plucky underdog that happens to have some kind of, lucky bounces, and then they knock off
Arizona State,
right?
Arizona State, where Cam Scadaboo,
yeah, exactly. You just get some dumbass
plays through his concussion, you know.
Just I've never seen somebody get CTE on the field, but that was CTE in real time, and he's done nothing to dispel that.
He's been live streaming. I've only caught like clips here and there, but he's actually just a crazy person.
I wonder what he asked Santa for Christmas, because he's still probably in that mindset. I mean, he's at wrestling events. I mean, he's probably playing with action figures right this second. Like he's trading Pokemon cards. He's
doing it. So,
but I think 16. Honestly, I think you go bigger.
Yeah,
I think
if you want to do the Cinderella thing and like give everybody a shot, 12 is too much of this weird beauty contest. 16 feels way more right.
Yeah,
just feels way more right and like a real playoff. And then you can have a wild card round, like the NFL does it if you want. If you want some people to have buys.
I got way better for you, right? You ready for this? So it should be 16 teams, and then the next 16 NIT. So basically, there are two
playoffs.
So instead of all those other Boca Raton Bowls and
dude, I would love that. It'd be great.
So there's 2 tournaments. And so, hey, Texas is still playing for something. They're playing for, and make it, whatever fuck you want to call it, right? It'd be a little more prestigious than just the NIT, because number one, more people would be watching it. Like Texas won the NIT. I didn't watch a single fucking, single play from those games, but it gives the guys something else to play for. It gives us fans more football to watch. And now, instead of having Northern Illinois versus James Madison in the Boca Raton Florida Bowl or whatever the fuck it's called, now you could have Texas versus Michigan, right?
Well,
and now
you could have some things in like these tournaments where you change the red shirt rules to where you don't burn any red shirts, and so like you can see what your team is going to be like.
Absolutely. Like, why isn't this a thing? Like, why isn't like same? I've always thought more football is good, but the more important thing is more meaningful football. Like, no, I don't watch the fucking Jets versus the Cardinals on Thursday Night Football whenever they're both eliminated for playoffs. There's nothing on the line except for like fantasy football implications. This is a perfect thing. There is something to still play for. I think kids will be more engaged. I think you'd see the transfer portal become less active. Or, hey, kids, yeah, like you said with the red shirt, you have a chance to prove yourself before you hit the portal.
And let's just discuss, like, this portal thing.
By the way,
there's only one portal. I'm glad there's one portal now, and they're going to figure that out, right? Single portal window, blah blah blah, whatever. That's really great. Coaching carousel seems like it's not going to be happening at the end of the season anymore, which is also great. Like, it happens mid-season, and maybe the hires happen close to the end of the season, or when you are eliminated officially from playoff contention or from other job opportunities like James Franklin. Yeah. And so, like, these things happen earlier, and it gives you more of this environment to, like, know what you're going to have for the next year. The only thing that I think that still, like, truly sucks and hasn't been figured out, and we'll talk about this kind of transitioning from the playoff conversation into an NIL conversation, is what we're experiencing right now in college football, all the way from your UTSAs of the world through your Texas, Oregon, Ohio State, Michigans of the world, is completely unrestricted free agency.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's basically what it equates to. And I think at least minimizing that window helps a lot. That way, again, you know what you're going to get. One thing I don't love is I think there should be a rule I think it should be similar to the NFL. Franklin and Virginia Tech, great fit. I thought that was a great fit for both sides. I think
he's going to run the fucking ACC, dude. I think he's going to be the new Dabo Clemson thing. Yeah, I think it's going to be the new Dabo Clemson.
Absolutely. If you told me that he basically replicates what Louisville's doing under Brom, right, where you're like a top 10 to 20 team, you're a 2-loss ACC team, make the ACC championship game a couple times.
Maybe I don't think he loses in the ACC. I'd be willing to bet he goes undefeated for 2 full seasons in the ACC.
I could totally see that, especially if as Dabo hasn't still really adapted to the portal and that sort of thing. There's not a single team in the ACC.
He was good. Like, he's a roster builder and he's a good coach. He has in-game coaching problems. Yeah. It's not like he's not getting blown out in the big games. He didn't not show up to big games. Yeah. He just did really stupid shit when he goes for 2 or doesn't call timeouts or he strategically when he should have goes for it. He just doesn't. Big game for him isn't that he gets blown out like some people that we know. It's big game for him is he just does enough small things to not get over the hump. And that, unfortunately for him, has led to a very abysmal record.
And his big games in the ACC are going to be, instead of Penn State having, a ton of these big games all the time, right? Ohio State, Michigan, all of these.
It's going to be Clemson,
Miami. Florida State down, Miami, who's
Florida State's broke.
And I'm not scared of Miami in the slightest. Any year, any time. They're just beating up on shitty ACC teams. So I think that's a great fit. But one thing I would like to implement is I don't think that this Kiffin stuff, I think it's bullshit for the players on Ole Miss. And I think it shouldn't be allowed. I don't think there should be any in-season. If your agents want to talk, that's fine. This motherfucker is getting on planes to go visit Baton Rouge and Gainesville.
Is he, though? I think his family did.
No, he is. Like 1,000%. I know for level 1, he is going to visit these places. And it's like, man, you got to at some point.
I don't know. Fuck them kids, right? Like Michael Jordan famously once said, "Fuck them kids." It's unrestricted free agency, dude.
But I think that's the biggest thing.
Or you know what, motherfucker, you're gonna be able to go. Kiffin will just bring you with him.
Well, that's for sure, right? And I think the same way that we are minimizing the transfer portal free agent window, we just need to do the same thing with coaches, right? Hey, the second the season's over, now coaches can begin to, which was perfect. Virginia Tech, they had a job opening, they had a fired coach.
The NFL has a bunch of rules about this, right? Like, you can't just, it's like a playoff team. You can't go fucking
Can't even
hire a
talk to him.
coach that's you can't even talk to him, right?
Yep, you can't even talk to him. Yep, not until their
And
season's
like the
over
league
with.
office has to be involved. And then if you
Mhm.
get caught, right, there's like penalties and whatever.
Yep.
But like, yeah, I do think that we are starting to get to this point where we are so far departed from the pure amateur nature where like the head coach was like the guy calling it. We're so far away from the Urban Meyer,
Yeah.
like I own your fucking soul for the next 4 years
Yep.
landscape that there does need to be something that isn't the CSC. I don't care about the money. Like fuck it, deregulate that shit. What we
Yeah.
need now is more regulation at the league level to make this more of a league that
Yeah.
we're going to talk about. And
Agreed.
so I think I also believe that we're going to see not just this coaching carousel that's like the craziest that we've ever seen with midseason firings and the reason for those for like James
Massive
Franklin,
jobs.
one play away from the national championship, getting fired 5 games into a season that was playoff eliminated, but not like New York Six or I mean New Year's Six, well, still possible at that point when he's fired, right? And so you don't think that like, okay, well, what's going on with the landscape? And I think a lot of this has to do with this second order effect that people aren't thinking about. Before it was like, oh, there's the coach's buyout and there's like all the economics that go into the coach and the staff and what the university is paying in most cases the highest paid public employee in the state or whatever,
which is just still so fucking nuts. And we got to build guardrails into some of these college coaches. I mean, it's the greatest job in the world.
Yeah,
you're
I don't know what
fire me and I'm walking up the door
like.
$70 million.
People talk shit about like the CEOs at Fortune 500 companies and like the money they make and whatever, and like those jobs aren't hard, but they do have a lot more. Like, it is difficult to gain the knowledge to do those jobs in said roles.
They normally work their way up, or they built something from scratch, and it's still they are earning it as they earn. Right. The thing is, now, like, they don't earn these.
Coaching a fucking children's game that like we professionalized and making that a full-time job where literally 3 months out of your year is like where you're graded as like a coach, and then the rest of the season. And some of these guys are making enough money. Like CEOs, an everyday, all day job. A lot of these guys work 16, 18 hours a day. It's a crazy thing to want to do. And I think a lot of those coaches are doing that in season, but they're not doing it in the off season. They're not out here in Florida killing themselves recruiting, right?
No, they don't have time to do a lot of the other
things. But like people deserve a family. Fuck you, dude. If you're making $11 million, you fucking married the $11 million. You ain't got fucking kids. You're paying somebody to. If your kids want to come and hang out with you, they can be around while you're doing the thing that's paying you $11 million. And if you don't like it, go fucking do something else. Let somebody that doesn't have kids coach for $11 million.
Yeah. And what's great, I think the biggest thing for me is like Billy Napier, his buyout. I don't know what the number was, but Billy Napier, $20-30 million, whatever. He's not getting paid that for what he did at Florida. He's getting paid that for what he did at Louisiana Lafayette, right? I don't think he ever got an extension. That was it, right? So Florida is paying him that sum of money for what he already previously did, not what he's going to do anymore because he's fired, right? It's one thing that you could justify, right? Hey, at least we achieved this amount of success. There are zero, like there are incentives in each coach's contract, of course, but there's zero incentive to win, right? The number is the number. I'm in sales, so that's why I'm equating it to sales. I'm in sales, and they are hired as base salary employees, right? So I hire salespeople. They want to earn commission. That's their job.
The variable comp and coaches structures is broken. There's
broken.
Hardly any variable comp.
And the only variables that they have will be that second extension, which that second extension is always and forever dumber than the first hiring, right? Hiring, you got to hire somebody, right? You got to find them. You got to take a swing, whatever. Then you get these stupid fucking extensions. Mike Elko almost fucking lost to South Carolina the day he signed an extension, which is so bullshit. It would have made my goddamn Saturday way better. But why? Right? Why is this? And I get it's monopoly money. I get it's just play money. I get it's just pretend money, right? What is that? What has that fat piece of shit done to earn that next extension? He's in year
here's the second order here. But the second order here, right? So that's always a thing, and we can all bitch about that. And I think there's an unlimited amount of time that we could spend on bitching about coaches and the economics of college football at the coaching level.
Yeah.
Why we're seeing these coaches get fired mid-season, even though their buyouts are crazy and their contract structures are nuts and they're completely incentivized for the wrong things, is every program in the entire country can now spend $20 million a year.
Yeah.
This year, 22 next year, almost 25 the year after that. And then they're going to revisit it and see like where it goes with rev share.
Now, and that doesn't even count with they're still collected. You know, Texas One Fund is not done because rev share's here, right? There's still tons of money.
You're talking about a collective amount of revenue share, and you know, everybody wanted to talk about like, oh, like they're going to Title IX, like that fucking died. So when that died, it's 85% football.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody fucking paying baseball players with the rev share. You got like, that was like the dream, right? The dream was, oh, now we can finally pay rowing and swimming and diving and baseball and softball. Fuck off.
Sure.
There is no rev share really happening for the non-rev sports.
Yeah, I think our number is, I think it's 85% to football, 5% to men's basketball, 2.5% to baseball, and 2.5% to women's basketball. I think that's 100, something like that. It's
shit for nobody else besides football. And when we're talking about 85%, so like just so everybody's kind of on the same page here, we're talking about $17 million of rev share dedicated to football at a team who, right, wants to lead in NIL. But guess what? What do you think Arizona State's doing? Arizona State is definitely spending at least 85% on their football team in rev share. And then they have their coach out here schlepping around their players and saying, if you don't have a dish at your restaurant named after one of the players or the team, what are you doing? It's $500 or $1,000 a month, and like we'll push business your way. We are in the full kind of commercialization era of college football. And when that happens, and you now every year, as part of your responsibility as head football coach of one of these big programs or even smaller tier school programs, you're now also allocating tens of millions of dollars in budget on personnel decisions, on competing out in the portal, on doing your fucking job on talent retention so that guys don't leave. All of those things happen, and that's just rev share.
Yeah.
Then you have the collective on top of that. And so when we're not going to say any specific numbers here, but it's not absurd to have a number that is in excess of $25 million a year in 2025 on a football roster to be in the top 20 of spend, to be in the top 20 of spend.
And that's without really paying anything from a collective perspective to the quarterback either, where a lot of schools don't have that luxury. They are paying, I think Miami's paying Carson Beck 4.2 or something just absolutely fucking stupid. I mean, golly, what a fucking idiot. Anyway, whatever. Hey, they're going to be in the playoffs and we're not. So I can't.
So what these guys are getting fired for isn't for losing games necessarily. It's for fucking up so bad with this other pool of money that is rev share that could have been allocated. Like you are now responsible at a fiduciary level
Yep.
instead of just on-field performance. You now have a fiscal responsibility to the school, the team, the organization to have a roster that performs commensurate to what you're spending in market compared
And
to other teams.
for sure, and I think the bigger thing with that as well, when you look at it, the schools have two options when it comes to firing a coach. It's, does this number for the buyout, should we take it and put it in NIL instead? And can we actually win with this coach if we just took that, whatever we had earmarked to buy this motherfucker out and fire him, we just put it to his NIL budget or 90% of it or whatever it is? That's what they did at Wisconsin, right? Wisconsin took a look at Fickell's thing and said, dude, we hired this guy. Everybody thought it would be a home run hire. People like the fucking guy. Why are we going to can this guy? I think they owed him like $12 million or something like that. Let's just give him just a massive budget in the portal. I bet you Wisconsin fucking cleans up in the portal this offseason. Bet you they absolutely murder it, right? They come in, they'll do whatever it takes to win now. And now their investment isn't just into the buyout. It's another year of the coach. And what if Fickell sucks again, right? So now you've also blew your rev share budget. You blew your NIL budget. You're still paying a buyout. So that's the math that people have to figure out now, because NIL and coaches, again, when 85% is going towards football, all of that money's tied together. All of that money's giving to all those people, all those big money donors are giving that money to fund the entire program at this point, or at least fund the entire program's success. Because you can have a program, take a look at Oklahoma State. You can have a program, you could get the results of Oklahoma State because they don't pay fucking shit in NIL money.
Well, and you look at Jeff Traylor,
People
right?
rolling over in his grid.
In UTSA, a guy who's pretty much a known quantity. It's not that we're going to sit here and stand for this guy and say he's the best coach ever, but he's a damn good football coach, right?
Yeah.
He's a good football coach. He can assess talent. He can put together good game plans. He's very competitive. They've done really well down in UTSA with what they've had. And NIL has absolutely fucking demolished any chance that UTSA has to do anything.
Yeah,
to do anything.
Right? Like, yeah, exactly. They have 1 year of success at UTSA before they move on to greener pastures. And it's got to be grueling for these G5 coaches that are just churning and churning and churning and churning.
And it's not even the churning. It's like now you have to pay to get the pool of guys that you were identifying from JUCOs or even coming out of high school, because now these guys can go sign a kind of a whatever rev share deal. We're not talking about like the beginning of NIL where like the really good recruits were getting paid to kind of sit for a year. Like that shit doesn't happen anymore, right? We're unrestricted free agency. Yeah. So like you get paid to play. And so a lot of these younger guys are maybe going to start taking flyers on going to a G5 school that's going to pay them $250,000 to go play a full season and put up monster numbers.
Yep. That's what you got to do. And I wonder if there's going to be some form of like Moneyball approach, I think, where people are going to focus more on talent evaluation. You know, people are always going to try to find market inefficiencies, especially for these smaller schools. And that's going to be how they're going to have to live, right? They're going to have to cut their teeth on getting an Ashton Genty and keeping him, right, at Boise State. Right?
Yeah.
You know, that's
that
the
shit
thing.
Ain't happening again. The Ashton Genty phenomenon, it ain't happening again. Yeah. It's not happening.
Done after year one. Rapid fire. All right. Coaching carousel.
All right. We've got two. Oh, rapid fire on the coaching.
Rapid fire coaching carousel. What coaches end up at these programs? All right. LSU. Who's their coach?
Ed Orgeron.
I think John Summerall is going to take LSU. You know what? No, change it. Kenny Dillingham. Kenny Dillingham and
Dillingham
Levitt
would be a great hire. It'd be a good hire.
I think that makes sense for LSU. Florida gets Kiffin. Yeah, Florida gets Kiffin. Ole Miss gets
Sark.
I mean, they took Chris Beard, right? Maybe they do want our used goods, our used alcohol, our whiskey soaked rags, if you will. Ole Miss, I will say Rhett Lashley. I think that maybe they steal Rhett Lashley from SMU. Yeah,
maybe it could fit.
Yeah, because I don't think he's going to Arkansas. I think
I think
Arkansas
Bobby's gonna. I think they're just gonna hire him full time.
just promote Petrino. I could see that.
I think they
Actually,
just. Yeah, I think they let Petrino. He's coached the rest this season. I think they're just gonna hire him.
I
It's
think
easy.
I think Arkansas. I'm going to go with Arkansas. Man, yeah, I could see Petrino. You know what, Jeff Traylor. I think that might be. I think it would be a good fit. It would be a hard sell to Arkansas. I think their fan base. I don't think he's having the greatest year. I don't
But
fucking
that's
pay attention.
yeah. But he didn't have
But
any
still,
NIL.
he's a
Yeah.
coach, right? And I think he recruits super well. Auburn, I think Summerall makes a lot of sense, and I know they've been talking a lot about that. If not, I could totally see the other JMU coach. I'm blanking on his name, but the James Madison guy that they have now is super fucking young and might show something. They paid so much money in NIL coaches buyouts, it's ridiculous. So either they're going to go for the sure thing or they're going to go cheap with the up and comer. And then the last one, Penn State.
Dude, I have no idea who Penn State's going to hire.
My guess, I'm just guessing, Brian Hartline, I think, would make a lot of sense if he wants to leave Ohio State. If he doesn't think Ryan Day's going for a while, I mean, he's a hell of a recruiter. He's calling offensive plays.
I feel like you gotta have. I feel like they're going to try and make a run at like a pro coach or something. I feel like they're trying to set up some kind of Death Star shit up there, and
yeah.
I know they're real serious. I mean, they fired James Franklin early.
Yeah.
And
I know they're taking big swings, so
they're going to take a big swing. I don't know who. All right. Does Sark coach at Texas in 2026?
I'm going to say he is not the coach in 2026, and I think
not the father. Wait,
I think you're not the father. I think Marcus Freeman is coaching Texas in 2026. I'll take my swing right now.
All right. I also think that Steve Sarkisian is not the head football coach in 2026 for the Texas Longhorns.
Well, who do you think it is? Who do you think it'll be?
I mean, I would love for it to be Freeman as well, but I don't know, because at that point you can take whoever you want.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
And honestly, I don't think
the Florida job, you can also just hire Kiffin anyway.
I think Kiffin. I would be fine with the Kiffin hire.
I would love the Kiffin hire. I don't know that it makes any sense from the culture perspective.
Exactly. It would go.
It would be great for Surly.
It'll explode one way or the other, right? I think Kiffin hiring would be either he gets tarmacked again in year 2, or he gets, or he wins 7 fucking national titles, right? That's
hilarious. All right, so we'll end on a fun thing. Yep. So we've got a question of the week. Would you let your spouse take 50 shots from midcourt on an NBA basketball court, and you win $50 million if she makes any one of those 50, or if she makes 0 of the 50, you are executed immediately?
Well, I'm going to twist the question, right? I'm going to change it from, so either 50 from 3 or 100 from midcourt. So you either have 100 shots from midcourt or 50 from the 3-point line. $50 million or you die. Would you let your wife take the shot?
No.
So for me personally, my wife, her AIM screen name was actually WNBA Here I Come. So my wife.
Yeah. So you would let it happen?
I've seen her shoot a basketball. First of all, she's not unathletic by any means. I think she's very athletic.
You can basket toss those, right? It's not about like shooting over somebody. So
and I've seen her shoot a basketball before. It's been a long time.
Is there coaching allowed, or are they just off on their own?
Yeah, and I think you have an unlimited amount of time, right? I think you would say unlimited amount of time to an extent. Like you can't be like, oh, I'll take 49 shots and then never take the 50th, right? Let's say you have a full weekend to do it. You have 48 hours to do it. I would let my wife take the 3-point line for 50 shots. I would not let her do midcourt.
I wouldn't let my wife shoot.
For $50 million, you know what? I've lived a great life already, and that would it be bad?
Life even better. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to trust my wife to make a goddamn basketball
I
shot.
think she's got it. I think, let's say if she had a week to warm up and practice before the 50 shots, I think if she
You
started
have to
Monday, I
commit.
think
You
by
have
the
to
end of the
commit
week.
to the 50 shots before you see the warm up.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Still
I'm
no.
letting her do it. Honey, I
Still
love
no.
you. Never say I doubted you ever. I would let you shoot for my life.
All right. Well, with that, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. We'll see you after Thanksgiving, live and in person.
Gobble, gobble, bitches. See you Black Friday.
Hook 'em.
Welcome.